today is tomorrow, and hey, go ahead, do a little dance. You already know what's happening today, boys. You already know what's happening today. Because Creator Clash 3, let me just go ahead and say it, is canceled. All right, boys, we've been waiting on this announcement for way too long. All right, this is like GTA 6 dropping, my guy. Like, we have been waiting for this thing to be canceled for a hot minute now. Ever since they said, oh yeah, we were doing a little scamming, just a little scamming. All right, we weren't really a charity. Because Creator Clash put on their Twitter, we've made a difficult decision to cancel Creator Clash. All existing pay-per-view tickets holders will receive automatic refunds. No action is required. While the event won't go ahead as planned, all funds raised so far will still be donated to charity, and our fundraising efforts will continue in months ahead. Thank you to all the fighters for their hard work and dedication, and everyone who supported us over the years. We appreciate you. Thank you, the Creator Clash team. I really do hope Tiltify, they are really good with that Creator Clash 3 money, because if you guys don't know, they just said they're giving away all the pay-per-view tickets. So what money are you raising? What are you raising here? I'm like, the only thing that they should be raising here is my sub count, boys. We're actually super close to 25K. Yo, thank you. Thank you again. I don't know what else to say. I wish I could say more. I didn't know that I would even get to 25K just speaking into a microphone, but here we are. But, again, thank you for, this amazing opportunity you guys are giving me to entertain you guys every day. So if you're new, drop a subscription. That would mean a lot to me. And also, hey, don't forget to like, scroll down a little bit, boys. Join the conversation. Hey, man, just periodically, just look down there. There might be something that comes up that you're just like, ooh, I want to join that conversation. But other than that, let's get back to the video, boys. Plus, I'm pretty sure Tiltify automatically donates the money. Now, if you guys don't know, the Tiltify was slightly successful for one day because of, the beef between Hasan and Ethan. And when H3H3 saw this, he put on his Instagram, I'm so proud of the legacy you left behind. Truly inspiring stuff. I'm like, if anything, Ethan Klein really should be patting himself on the back, because this man truly did get more people to donate to the charity than anyone else. So I mean, like, you can technically say Ethan Klein was able to raise a majority of the fundraiser money. Which is the funniest part about this, because without the content nuke Owen Hasan Piker, they would have never gotten past 200K. So I guess technically thanks Ethan Klein for your hard work on making Hasan finally donate to some good cause. Even though it was his viewers that donated, he didn't donate a dime actually. But at least he used his voice for good for once, I guess. I don't know. We're moving on from that, all right? Because if you guys don't know, in my last video, top right hand corner, Peachjars literally said that she was joining this whole entire, boxing event, Creator Clash 3. And everyone was completely confused because she got the location wrong. It was confusing because the announcement video was like, it seemed like she was about to join an org, but then she was like, no, actually, I'm just going to be boxing. It's like, all right, so what was the org? I don't know. It was a confusing day for everyone. But then, she tweeted out that she's 100% lying, right? And everyone was still confused. We're like, what do you mean you're lying? What you mean by that? But now we know, boys. Now we know, because she knew that this whole entire thing was already getting canceled by the time that announcement video came out. And I'm just sitting here like, what was the point of even releasing the video? I technically, it did get some press to her. Maybe it was just for her Twitch stream. She was just using that to get, more OS subscriptions and stuff. I don't know. But then she tweeted out this in frustration of, Creator Clash 3 getting canceled. Man, lol. I spent $3,000 on an announcement video and paid for 2 months of training, equipment, and travel. The cancellation was supposed to be announced the next day I posted that, and they moved it back. The event wasn't even selling tickets. I'm like, ma'am, you've had a nice little heads up that no one was buying any of these tickets for a good while now. All right, we had a whole 6 months, well, I guess 2 months ago would be 4 months, or at least you had a whole 4 months to realize that this was going to be a failure of an event, and yet you still signed up for it. I don't know what kind of money that they were predicting you would be making off of this, but Ma'am, you made the wrong choice. I'm just letting you know you made the wrong choice. You wasted so much time, money, and effort that you will not be reimbursed for. So I hope that you enjoyed your time at training camp, I guess. Hey man, keep up the boxing. It's really great cardio, I heard. But that wasn't it. She continued on. This was never meant to be malicious. I was dumb and I apologize. I genuinely thought it was gonna be funny until it got moved. I feel like Peachjars should take this as a warning, and everyone that has seen this should take this as a warning, especially has read her comments on basically how she feels after this, as everyone that has worked with Creator Clash has gotten burned. I'm like, hell, even Satnap was on stream crashing out over the cancellation.
It's not like 100% waste. It's not 100% waste. But yeah, I mean, it does feel a little shameless. There's a lot of time and effort. A lot of time and effort. A lot of days I woke up and I didn't want to do that shit, but I fucking did it for no reason. But I mean, it is what it is.
Everyone, even the people that created Creator Clash, got burned by Creator Clash. Maybe, just maybe, we should just let this one rot. All right, maybe this one's life is over. Digging up its corpse every year and trying to puppet around as some quote unquote charity when in reality it's just some business that failed, and trying to say, oh no, it's a charity again. It's a charity again. We're donating 2% of the money made by the pay-per-view tickets to charity. Right? That's not gonna help you, right? Just go ahead and drop this one, all right? There'll be plenty of other charity events. I don't care if this one fails because plenty of people already donated to the actual Tiltify. That was the whole entire point of the charity. That was the whole point, was to get people to donate to the Tiltify. Now, they never promoted the Tiltify, like, about them near ever. But thank God Hasan did while watching the H3 content new, because that thing would probably be around 10K right now, because it gets no donations, like, at all. I'm pretty sure it'll probably be around like 30K, because Hasan's fan base donated over $210,000, which it's only at $240,000. And Hasan watched the content new, like, what, 3-4 months ago now? So, let's just say that's where the money's gonna stay. It's not going up any further. It's kind of weird how whenever Hasan in any of his orbit has a charity or they need people to donate money, it always stops so far away from its goal. It's almost like a curse that Hasan has.
How do you lose his wealth? Futures trading. The piker curse.
That's the real piker's curse. He gets richer while everyone around him gets poorer. The poor old piker's curse, man. That poor communist. It's almost like he has a capitalist mask. It's kind of weird. Now, don't worry, boys. We will get into some of, the Anisa drama around Creator Clash, but Peachjars continued on with her grievances around Creator Clash, which, I mean, like, she had a whole 4 months to know that this whole entire thing would burn her, but I guess sometimes you gotta let the kids put their hand on the stove. Because someone replied to her saying, still disingenuous, regardless, think of people who may have booked hotels and or flights. Those are not easy to get refund from, like, the event tickets. And then Peachjars replied to that saying, this was never meant to be disingenuous, and the announcement was supposed to be made immediately. The event was not selling tickets when I announced it. This event has thrown me around for 2 months, and I just thought I was doing something funny after all this. My bad. Don't get me wrong, if you bought tickets, flights, hotel rooms to go watch Peachjars shadow box, literally, because who would have been her opponent? I think that would have been a you problem. I'm just saying it. I don't feel like she should have replied to that one. I feel like that one was just more of a, you're an idiot. If you were just like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna go to Creator Clash 3, then Peachjars announced, you was like, oh, I gotta go see Peachjars. I'm like, this woman goes to so many events. Like, you could probably just catch her at like Anime Con or Twitch Con or something. Like, I don't think you going to this random YouTuber event would have changed your life. So the last post from Peachjars that I want to talk about is, why the hell did it cost her $3K to make a damn video? Because trust me, as an editor, I know these YouTubers / streamers are good at being little cheapskates, alright? She easily could have whittled down the number. So someone in her replies said, how on earth did an announcement video cost you $3 grand? All you did was drive away from your house and write on a whiteboard. Literally, that is exactly what she did. But then she replies saying, We made a video in 2 days and the editor edited in 3 days. High-end videos like that cost money. The camera that was mounted to the car is like an insanely expensive camera. I was so scared. I like how we walk around with like 4K HD or 3 million bit rate little cameras in our pockets, and people still are like, no, I gotta get a real camera. It's like, woman, your iPhone would have did perfect for this because you were announcing that you were going to be fighting in a failed boxing event. Like, what? And it was like a minute-long video. So as an editor, I don't know if that person really was charging 3K. I'm pretty sure she's trying to put all the price really onto that camera, which if you really spent like what, 3K, like what, 2,500 on a damn camera, I feel like, woman, it's time to get a financial advisor, someone to tell you that maybe spending 3K on a prank that backfires this hard is not the best financial decision. I'm just saying it. I'm not trying to say you're bad with money. I'm just saying this was a really stupid reason to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna spend like over $1,000 on a camera and a mounting rig. It's like, this was not that good of a prank in general. On top of that, it wasn't even worth it. Like, she'll probably be like, oh, but my fan subs went up. It's like they were going up either way, probably. So let's both be honest here. Did you really need to spend 3K? You probably could have put out a tweet and the same amount of subs would have came in, and you would have did that for free. But if you guys want to see her continue to, I guess, apologize for this video, go to her second Twitter account. Why do you need a second Twitter account? I don't understand people with alt Twitters. What does that do for you? One Twitter is good enough. People have like 2 of them bitches. So of course, whenever this news break, Ludwig had to run to his PC, basically getting up there trying to get a clip out. All right, boys, this man ran to his PC, and of course, his community was trying to blame H3H3 on the downfall of Creator Clash 3. Somehow it's H3H3's fault. Somehow. Even though Idubbbz could have kept Creator Clash out of this by just not saying anything at all. You know, sometimes whenever you have a business, there's some things you just don't talk about. Right? Like if I'm building an AI business, I'm not going to tell any of my devs that actually the AI that they're building is going to replace them. I'm like, you just don't talk about that. I'm like, some things you just keep to yourselves.
This has been dead for a while and like on life support. You know, this has been in a vegetative state. So it is, I think, ultimately the right call that they canceled it. Because if they had gone through with it, I think it would have done so bad. Ethan Klein did it. Okay. I'm not trying to be controversial here. But I do think Idubbbz posting the content cop was one of the dumbest moves ever. Straight up. That was crazy. I think it was not considerate of how many other people would be dragged into the situation who don't give a fuck and just want to fight. You know, make that video when Creator Clash isn't happening, I would say. That makes no sense to me. It did not help the event whatsoever. It hurt the event. Yeah, I mean, no one went to bat but Hasan for him. But like also, Hasan's audience isn't watching fucking boxing events. What is that? That's not, I don't know. At some point, you have to realize you're operating a business, and I mean, you have to make the call. Like, what's more important, is the business or you know, making the videos you want to make, which is like your own call to make. But anyway, I'm kind of sad about it. I won't lie.
Bro really said, I don't want to be controversial, and then told the most logical thing known to man. I don't understand how his brain works. He can rationalize things. It is so weird how Ludwig works. He's a smart, rational person whenever he wants to be. But then he can wrap up the rational thoughts in, I'm not trying to be controversial here, but in business terms, Idubbbz might just be retarded. Why would you make a video on a controversial issue? On top of that, make a video on controversial issue where you are misrepresenting the whole entire thing. On top of that, spreading misinformation. On top of that, you're on the wrong side of the controversial issue. It is easy to see which side was the correct side. Like, my guy, you made every bad decision back to back to back. Not only did you back the wrong side, on top of that, you backed the wrong side that did not want anything to do with your business and already weren't supporting it. On top of that, you were spreading misinformation that was so easy to disprove. You look like an idiot. On top of that, whenever you're called out by it, instead of you being like, you know what, maybe I'm in too deep, I'll just not say anything, you double, triple, quadruple down. And you kept lying, and people kept exposing that you were lying for no reason. You gained nothing, not even a friendship with Hasan. Like, Hasan threw this man to the wayside immediately whenever he became unpopular. Like, somehow, Idubbbz went from the top echelon of YouTube to ruining not only his YouTube career, but also his business. Like, my guy, you're ruining both your career and life over someone who doesn't care. I don't understand. He doesn't care about you. Hasan doesn't care. It is so easy to see that Hasan does not care about this man. And yet for some reason he continues to ruin his life over someone that would throw you under the bus the same second it becomes convenient. Like, my man, what are you doing? You ruined your own business for someone that didn't even promote your business. He promoted the charity aspect. He didn't promote the tickets for your business. And then on top of that, he roasted him to his face at the end of stream. And all this man did was just say, that was mean.
They have a shelf life because they don't have the same fucking stubborn nature that I do. They don't have the same interests as I do. They inevitably become their own worst enemies. They inevitably cook themselves. You might think you're riding high on the slop for a little bit. You might think you're getting showered with praise. An army of anonymous Redditors telling you you're brilliant. But at the end of the night, when you go home and you sit down and you look yourself in the mirror, you're not going to recognize who you've become. That's it. Turning into a lolcow of a different variety. That's what I think.
That's so mean.
Was it?
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's, well, I mean, I guess it's
pretty accurate.
I think the truth is what's mean. Sometimes it needs to be said.
And basically, that's been the last of Idubbbz's dignity, alright? We don't know where the rest of it went. Well, we do. Anisa Jomha just snatched it right from his little arms. But yeah, back to the Ludwig clip. It is so weird how so many people are trying to blame H3 on this whenever this man, Idubbbz, was the one who dropped the content cop first. He was the one that started this. He was nowhere in this battle at all. No one cared about Idubbbz's opinion on this situation until he dropped the content cop on H3. And of course, other fighters were like, yeah, we all agree. We don't care if you dropped the content cop. We didn't care about the beef. Why didn't you just drop it after Creator Clash? And of course, Anisa had to speak for Idubbbz, as she does usually.
Like putting out that video, I did say in a text to Anisa, I was like, couldn't have waited a couple months, like, and then she said it had to come out then because, but I understand that too, because it's like, all right, you're passionate, the time is now, I'm inspired, I'm going to make this, I want to respond to what has been said topically.
Yeah, but that is the dumbest reason to drop a controversial video that could and did cripple your business, which was already crumbling before you. They basically put the nail in the coffin of Creator Clash 3, right? A lot of people were already skeptical because of Creator Clash 2, but then that video basically made it to where no one, and I mean no one, not on Hasan's side, not on Idubbbz's side, not on Ethan's side, wanted to support Creator Clash 3 after that controversial video. The video was so bad, it literally killed the charity aspect and the business aspect of Creator Clash. So obviously, boys, Idubbbz has not been on the internet in a while, alright? This man and Anisa have been going on this little road trip, I guess. They've been posting well, Anisa has been posting pictures Idubbbz is just off the grid. All right, that boy said, I'm putting the phone down. Thankfully. But obviously, whenever this announcement came out, what do you think Anisa said whenever this announcement came out that Creator Clash 3 was canceled? Well, she finally promoted the, charity aspect of the business instead of, the for-profit business aspect of it, that they were going to get 32% of the profits if it succeeded. She finally tweeted out the link to the Tiltify that so many people were probably confused even existed that, didn't donate during the Hasan stream. They were like, wait, hold up. There was a totally different website for this? I thought Creator Clash was the charity. But she tweeted out, going to take this opportunity to promote Stand Up to Cancer Tiltify link. Money can still be raised for charity. Yeah, now that me and my husband are out of Creator Clash, you basically got pushed out by the board. A hostile takeover, essentially. We'll promote the aspect of the business that doesn't generate the business any money. Now, Idubbbz's wife, Anisa, continued on in Discord, alright? She basically was trying her best to soothe any and every one of her little simps into believing that her and Idubbbz had nothing at all to do with, the destruction of Creator Clash. I just want to make it clear that we haven't had any contact or control since we publicly stepped down, even though me and Ian were the faces of the event. Many people were behind the scenes making decisions together. The event wasn't doing well. Before the content cop, a combo of many things contributed to that reality, including lack of promotion, influencer boxing being less popular, the economy, etc. I think what it boils down to is poor communication from everyone, even after we left, which is unfortunate. At the end of the day, I care about people getting paid for the money they were out for training and charity getting their money, and both of those things were done. I really loved this event. I loved what it stood for, and I wanted to believe we could push through, but it just wasn't realistic. None of it was malicious. I know this bitch isn't talking about something, none of it is malicious. She literally dropped a content cop on one of the biggest promoters of your event 3 years in a row. Literally. The only reason why the charity has any money is because of H3. Like, it's directly because of H3. Without him, the charity would only have 30K in the damn vault. On top of that, you turned the Creator Clash charity boxing event into basically a race war. Literally, they turned it into a race war, which is why Harley Morenstein dropped out of the fight, because he was like, wow, this is kind of weird hearing the people promoting the event that I'm fighting in saying racially insensitive things about my people. And then on the other side, the Arabic woman that was working for she still is working for H3, Lena, who was also boxing in their event, she dropped out because she was getting shit for this. Everyone was getting shit for this damn content cop. On top of that, they never paid Lena for her training for the boxing event whenever she had to drop out because she was getting shit because of, Idubbbz and Anisa's literal bomb they dropped on this event. They again gave H3 a free W because he just said, F it, I'll pay your 15K back pay. Don't worry, Lena. Like, my guy, they just keep handing this man wings hand over fist. I mean, like, whenever H3 caught wind of this Discord message that got leaked, he literally put on his Instagram, paying Lena the 15K you owe her would go a long way. Literally, I don't understand how she can say none of it was malicious. You're literally not paying the woman because she had to drop out because of your poor decisions. It's literally malicious in nature. And the reason why Anisa and Idubbbz didn't pay the money, not only because Creator Clash didn't have any money, but on top of that, they were being malicious about it because Lena works for H3. But continuing on, if you guys haven't seen, Anisa is threatening to go back to streaming once she's done with this little road trip with Idubbbz. I know. Another bomb, hydrogen bomb at that, has hit the damn Twitch towers, boys. Because she tweeted out, this was a little while ago, I'm pretty sure it was back in June, Excited to announce that I will be going back to streaming once we are back from our vacation. I guess someone got to be breadwinner in this house, seeing that Idubbbz is, I'm assuming, run away from the internet again, right? He just can't take the heat again, so he's just like, all right, I'm done uploading. Anisa, please, we need feet pics on the timeline. How are we gonna pay this mortgage? So obviously, whenever H3 caught wind of this threat to the Twitch ecosystem, obviously he had something to say.
You swung at me and you fucking missed big time. And guess what?
Yes.
I've never been betrayed like this in my whole life by someone I cared about this closely. And then you had the audacity to come and make another video and justify CPS call. You endorse snark, you live snark. Again, you are elevating disgusting, hateful people who have spent their time harassing me and my family. Look at me. This is me. I win, you lose. And you will continue to lose, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm not done. I'll never be done. I will never be done with you. That's how much you've betrayed me and how much I want you to know how much you lose and I win. Do you understand, Anisa? And I'm not even talking to Idubbbz anymore. He's insignificant. He's gone. Anisa, you're the one, you're coming center stage. You're going to start streaming now. I want you to understand something.
Yes.
I am never gonna be done. I will never be even.
What does that mean?
I'm talking about them, being interested in them, being, I'm fascinated by everything they're doing, right? The streaming, the whatever, the events.
You just mean you're never done making fun of them?
Never.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. There'll never be a point where I'm going to be like, I'm just saying, and this is for the audience too, because I want you guys to know, there will never be a point when I will say to myself, okay, it's time to move on from this. I want you to know that. You dropped that fucking video when I was live, and you thought you were cute, you thought you were clever, you really had me. You came at me with the laziest slop. The shittiest slop that you got my haters running around the internet talking about I'm right and you're wrong. You have managed to galvanize support for me, which is something I've not been able to do for myself, so thank you.
Damn, like a damn HBO villain over here. Brother thought he was in the damn Sopranos. But he is right in the sense of that content cop really did galvanize a lot of people against Idubbbz and Hasan and them and turned them to the H3 side. I mean, like, a lot of people were against H3. And then for some reason, they just kept lying about H3. And then he would show them the facts. And then he would debunk a lot of their lies. And you would just wonder yourself, why would you lie about them? Like, there's so many things you can get H3 on, but you'd rather just make up false things. On top of that, easily refutable facts that the man can easily pull up clips of. Like, that's something else I didn't get. Why would you lie about things that he would talk about on stream and he could pull up clips of him denying any of their false information? I don't get it. I didn't get the point of that damn content cop being just so misleading. It was so sad because this man would literally be on stream. He literally was on stream reacting to it same second it dropped.
Ethan, wake up.
Oh my God. Frogan, what a nightmare. Talk about a jump scare. This man willingly got in a room with Frogan to make a video about how I can't. Bro, I can't. How is this real?
Now, how do you guys think that this woman Anisa responded to that other clip that I showed of H3H3 basically saying, yeah, you know what? I do hate you now. I don't love you anymore. We used to have a beautiful friendship. I used to promote your shit all the time on my channel and my platform, but now it's over. I am a detractor of yours. Well, she decided to repost a reply that H3H3 put underneath one of Anisa Jomha's Instagram posts. People see an hour-long podcast and think they completely understand you and your relationship. Even for the internet, people have been particularly nasty to you. It can feel so painful to be hated and misunderstood by so many people that have never met you. But I don't think it has anything to do with you. People hated you from the beginning because of what you represented as an extension of Ian. Him maturing and changing, they feel betrayed by him, and you are the scapegoat. It sucks that people don't just move on and accept the change, especially after years. The only thing that really mattered, if how you guys feel about each other, and remembering as much as possible that everything you read online is just noise. It's not real. It's a few unwell people that obsess over you, and if you ever met them in real life, you'd know their opinion is worth exactly nothing to you. I love you guys. Now, a lot of people, like myself, was misled whenever we saw that this was posted 3 days ago. We were like, 3 days ago? This man sucking 3 days ago? God! H3, what the hell happened? But then she clarified, this wasn't 3 days ago. This was back in 2024. So she literally pulled up a message that he put on her Instagram account from literally over a year ago, whenever they were all still friends, to prove a quote-unquote point. Like, yeah, a lot of things have changed ever since the content cop and you backstabbed your friend. Like, what? You drop a hit piece on him and then you expect him to have these same feelings that he had about you a year ago? Like, what? This was like the biggest nothing gotcha ever. I feel like this comment just sums up what we all feel. What's crazy to me is that this is a showcase of how supportive they always were to you guys. You're portraying it as a gotcha of sorts when really you're showcasing that they can be decent humans when they were defending you guys' relationship from the internet. How do you repay that? Trying to make them feel bad for once caring about you? Glad they no longer do. They did nothing but try to lift up you and Ian and your events, and you just want to shift the blame for all of your failures onto them and others. That comment right there sums up how everyone feels about how this idiotic post is. This is the dumbest post I've ever seen in my life. This woman is literally showing just a year ago, this man was so supportive of you before you backstabbed him. This was, hey, before we backstabbed you, you were a pretty cool guy. He's like, yeah, his feelings when you changed after that. But if you guys want to see how someone can try their best to defend this woman showing a post of this man being so wholesome and nice towards her whenever they were friends, of course, Kaceytron entered the arena. You know what? If I'm just going to admit it, I had to read this, and you're going to read this as well with me. All right, if I got to get lobotomized, so do you. All right, you're already in it this far. All right, you made it over 33 minutes in. You're going to sit there and listen to me read this bullshit. The dehumanization that happens towards you as a woman in content creation is unreal. Men we work alongside are cheering alligator Auschwitz affiliated with sex pests and rapists, making jokes about children drowning, etc. But God forbid I react to a video everyone reacted to. This bitch really came up in here and said, how can I make it about me? Like, how the hell did she transform that sentence into about her? But of course, Anisa had to go in there and pat her on the back like, yeah, I forgot. You're f***ed, unlike me. It's insane. The witch burning is out of control, and it's so insane that it feels like it's somehow gotten worse. Like, I don't remember it being this bad in 2014, but maybe I just have rose-colored glasses. We are like the elders of the streaming world now. Lol. Actually, it was worse back in 2015. You two were just irrelevant back then, and you guys are the elders of the streaming world now. They have been streaming for a while, and they're both somehow broke every other person that was streaming back in 2014, right? They started back then, are multi-millionaires right now. Almost any and everyone that's consistently streamed back then are now millionaires. These two somehow found a way to continue to be broke. It's actually beautiful, the art form of how they are somehow perpetually victims, but at the same time empowered. One had to marry a millionaire to make any kind of money, and the other one is still on stream crying about how broke she is while bringing in 9K a month off of subs alone. They are somehow just wasting money. I don't understand how they do it so effortlessly. It takes me actual time and effort to get through even $100. Somehow they just break 10K a month so easily, just out the window. And yet, it's the man's fault for not finding them entertaining at all and not wanting to watch them because they're boring and they have no personalities. But of course, the victim Kaceytron had to take the stand again, all right? Any amount of sympathy, it is like crack to her, all right? The one thing that could make her sober is just being sympathetic towards her. This is better than we heard. Well, a certain someone is rallying the incel troops behind him because it's all he has left. So why not target women like you, me, Denims, Frogan, Taylor Lorenz, who have been universally hated and borderline stalked by these incel freaks for years. It's not stalking whenever you put it on the internet yourself. It's like saying, oh my god, officer, I have this stalker outside. And then they check your phone. It's just like, you were just messaging him on Tinder. What do you mean stalk? He came to pick you up. Oh my god. And I changed my mind. Why didn't you tell him you changed your mind? You didn't even say anything once he said, I'm outside of your house. Do you still want to go on the date? Like, woman, you did this to yourself. You literally have been doing this same rhetoric for 10 plus years now. And then you're just like, oh my god, why are they stalking me? Give me a pint. Like, bitch, you did it to yourself. No, there is no sympathy. You're doing it to yourself. If you don't want to be stalked anymore, just get off the internet. Yeah, you leave. Yeah, you leave. That's the easy solution. You leave. Remove yourself from the situation. This is not the internet should make him leave. No, you should leave if you have the problem. But that's where that conversation with Kaceytron stopped. But Anisa continued on, all right? She continued on tweeting. She said, I once again asking what my ultimate sin was aside from being married to the man who made the content cop on the king. Ethan doesn't know us as well as he claims, especially not me. He's as knowledgeable about our private life as the average viewer. Chat, imagine you have someone that comes into your life, right? And not only do you make content with them, right? You make YouTube videos, but not only that, you build actual businesses with them. You build your career with them. You are there from the ground floor with them. You both come up and make millions together. You invite this person over to your house, they come over to your house. You invite this person over to a party, they come over to the party. They invite you to a party, you go over to their house and their party. And yet, at the end of the day, they backstab you and then say, we were never friends. How would you feel about that? After being so nice towards each other for well over a decade, just because your friend's wife has a crush on a guy that hates you. That's essentially what happened. But that's not it. She continued tweeting, I have never mentioned CPS. I didn't appear in the content cop. I have only ever replied to Ethan privately with kindness despite him spam texting us deranged nonsense. His inference that I have any control over Ian's choices is from watching SlopTuber parasocial ramblings. I like how her literal explanation of why Ethan shouldn't go after her for her role in the content cop is that she didn't appear in it. Even though Idubbbz has mentioned before that she has helped make content cops in the past on the same podcast with H3H3. Like, do they think this man has dementia? Like, he knows that you help him with these content cops. To what extent? We don't obviously know to what extent, but to an extent to where you actually are credited by Ian in being a major part in a lot of his recent ones.
I want to I've been with him for through two content cops, and I helped. Like, I mean,
Yeah, a lot of people's I guess criticism is like, oh, like that witch or that,
Yeah.
you know,
well, a lot
changed him, or
a lot
like
of people
things have gotten bad since they've gotten together, type
a
thing.
lot of people attack Anisa. People are like obsessed with.
Well, they just don't understand that she's been like helping me create videos since we got together, and
2016.
a lot of the videos that people love are with her help and involvement, and it's been the same thing all the way.
The
to
rice
now.
gum one, I remember you were there.
Yeah.
You had a lot. You were had a lot of input on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the rice gum one was a lot of fun. I really like, but I mean, I also take ownership for the Tana. The Tana thing was my.
Oh, that was so long ago.
Was my idea. Was my stupid idea.
Yeah.
I was the one
She
that was.
suggested like we can go to the place. It's just in San Francisco. I'm like, it is just in San Francisco.
Yeah, that drive and everything. And now I think back to it, I'm like, I can't believe we literally harassed an 18-year-old child at her show.
There is legit evidence of you taking ownership of over at least one content cop. Why would H3 not think you would do it again? This woman is delusional. It is still so weird to me today that, you know, Idubbbz and Anisa have just gone so far against H3 whenever even H3, both Ethan and Gila Klein were supportive of Idubbbz changing his content whenever everyone else was talking shit about him changing his content. They both were literally just like, you know what, Idubbbz, we get it. As creators ourselves, there's times whenever you do want to change your content. Sometimes content just isn't sustainable. You get burnt out on it. Like, they were being absolutely as nice as they could be whenever everyone was shitting on Idubbbz. And the way he repays them is through the content cop. It is the saddest thing I've ever seen.
But like Ian and how he feels about how he wants to put himself on the internet has changed.
But I think that was gonna happen no matter what.
That's what he always says.
That had to happen.
Yeah, I think
those
he-
videos, like you said now, they were
Yeah.
a hit piece, and when you look back at it, you cringe at
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
It's not something that could have been sustainable, even if you wanted to.
Look, if you didn't change,
you couldn't.
you'd be Keemstar.
Right.
It is so weird how these people literally not only invited him into their home and into their lives, but also coddled his feelings about his fucking quote unquote change in his perspective on how he wants to make content, when in reality it was just him, I'm gonna be honest here, wanting to be lazy. All right, he wanted to, instead of making, a video every other day, or at least once a week, or at least once a goddamn month, he wanted to turn all this into a once a year event where he gets a huge payday on this one event, and then he just coasts throughout the rest of the year. That's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to be lazy. Let's just call it spade a spade. He wanted to have a business with a yearly reoccurring payment scheme where he gets a big hit each and every year. But it didn't work out because he was lazy. That's the sad part. It didn't work out because he was lazy. They admitted they were lazy. They should have promoted the event more. They should have did more collaborations. They should have actually, went around to other YouTubers and asked them to promote the event for them. But instead of doing that, they rather, make a hit piece on the guy that was coddling their feelings and that was freely promoting their event for years on end. No, instead of, keeping that friendship alive and continue to get free promotion through them, through their millions of fans. No, they rather go with their wife's boyfriend and make hit pieces on the guy that, again, was helping them out. This woman, Anisa Jomha, is as narcissistic as pirate software. That boy basically ruined his own life. This man is just crying on stream now that people won't leave me alone. And I don't understand why. Click this video right here to find out what the hell did this man do this time. But other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.